I made this video for you to help you attract more women without saying a word through fitness, fashion, and finesse. What if women started approaching you? It's all about being in the right place at the right time with the right look, with the right body language, and a willingness to get out of your comfort zone. After cold approaching hundreds of women, I've come up with proven ways to get her to start a conversation with you so you can sidestep rejection and find the love of your life. Using these techniques, I've had the privilege of having women fall deeply in love with me and had years long relationships with them. With my experience, I know exactly how to get attractive, wealthy, and charismatic women to be attracted to you without saying a word. As your Greeting the Girlfriend guide, I want to share these secrets with you because it's my mission to get her to start a conversation with you. Let's break it down. Now, this video is all about where to go to find women. Now, the first thing you wanted to figure out here is how far are you willing to drive? So for me personally, I'm not driving more than 25 miles away from my house, or about 30 minutes away. Because the way I think about this is, if I have to drive an hour and I meet someone an hour away, well, then I may need to drive regularly an hour away just to meet up with her. And what if she lives an hour away from there? So I just like to keep the circle pretty tight as far as that radius is concerned. Plus, I live in a major metropolitan area. I live in Orlando, Florida. So, in 30-minute drive, there's tens of thousands of women that I could meet, single women. So I don't feel like I have to drive more than 25 miles away or 30 minutes. But depending on where you're located, you may have to drive further out if you're in a rural area, for example. So that's the first thing you want to think about. The next thing you want to think about is where to go to find events that you want to visit in the first place. Now, my favorite approach would be to use websites that advertise local events. So here in Orlando, it would be Orlando Weekly Events. But nationally, I would look at things like Eventbrite, Meetup, and Facebook to find events that would be in my area. And you can also search based on the radius and the date. Now, the next thing you want to think about here is the type of event you and single women would have fun at. And when I say that here, I mean, you don't really want to pick or choose events where it's going to be a family event where you're going to have a lot of couples. You also don't want to pick events where it's just going to be a bunch of guys, right? So you want to be selective on the type of events that you choose to visit. Now, when it comes to events, you want to choose events that have that encourage activity and interaction, not just sitting around at a table, for example. Even if you're going to a bar, you don't want to just sit there the entire time. So, hack number one: set a minimum standard of time to be at that event. So for me, it's something like, I'm going to have 2 drinks, or I'm going to be there for about an hour. So you want to have that minimum amount of time set, so you prepare yourself for the endurance that you're going to need to handle the uncomfortable feeling of maybe you're there by yourself and you don't really have anyone to talk with. You definitely want to set a time so you don't just squirm your way out of it. So the next thing you want to think about after setting that minimum amount of time is positioning yourself, and the layout and level of busyness really matter when it comes to positioning yourself at the event. So that leads me to hack number 2. You really want to be near natural flow zones. What I mean by that is like entrances, drink areas, or transitional spaces where people would pause. This also could be like near the cash register, or if you're at an event. But what I mean by transitional spaces, when I think about it for myself, like if I went to watch an Orlando Magic game and I go to the arena, I may want to position myself near the top of an escalator or a staircase where people are going to come to the top of that landing and try to figure out which direction they're going to go. This is a great place for you to position yourself, because you're seeing new faces all the time, and who knows, someone might just ask you for directions, an attractive woman who you might want to date. So that's a good place to be. Transitional places, entrances, drink areas, point of sale, like right near the cash register. Well, what you ideally want to do here, though, is you actually want to avoid clinging to the walls or looking on your phone excessively or at all. You don't want to look bored like you're on your phone, and you didn't go there to be on your phone. You want to engage with the environment. You want to check out the booths at the event, start conversations with the vendors, go to the exhibits and the demos that are there at the event. Definitely want to be engaged. You want to position yourself to be open to being to a conversation being initiated with you. You want to avoid standing in one place for too long, but you also want to stay long enough that she feels comfortable initiating a conversation with you. So that's a good idea there is if you're going to a coffee shop, have a conversation with the barista, sit close to where the register is, or the bartender or what have you. You want to be able to linger for a little bit and for it not to feel weird. So that leads me to tell you my man in black story. So last weekend, Friday night, me and my buddy Mike went to hang out. It was Halloween. Mike doesn't get dressed for Halloween or anything. So when we're talking, he's like, "Oh, are you getting dressed up?" I said, "Nah, I'm just going to wear all black." So, but when we got together, of course, I'm wearing a black cowboy hat. I'm wearing a black bandana. I'm wearing a black Western shirt, black cowboy boots, cowboy pants. So I'm full cowboy regalia, right? Complete with the toy sidearm that looks pretty real. So he's like, "Hey, I thought you weren't getting dressed up." I was like, "I did a little something. I told you I was wearing all black, right?" So in any event, we go to this Western club. They were doing a costume party event there, right? So we get there, and before we even walk in, we decide how long we're going to stay. At least a couple of beers, probably 2 or 3 beers is what we said. All right, so we get in there. There was a long line. I actually initiated a conversation with a woman in line. We go in. We stand right near the entrance of the venue, so we're seeing people going in and out, having the just the FaceTime, the in real life FaceTime with all these people going in and out of the venue. But then we decide to move around. There's 3 bars in this club, so we move from bar to bar to bar. And during one of the times we stopped and got a drink, I noticed the most beautiful woman in the club. I mean, there was hundreds of people there, and she just caught my eye. She wasn't in costume or anything, just plain clothes. And I point out to Mike, "Hey, check her out." And he's like, "Yeah, she's hot." But she was also talking to a bunch of guys at this table. So I'm like, I don't know if any of those guys are her boyfriend. I'm not even worried about that. Keep it moving, right? So we walk around for a bit. Mike actually meets up with someone he knows. They're talking for about 15 minutes. While they're talking, having their conversation, I do a lap around and just, again, want to prevent from standing in one place too long. So I keep it moving around and come back over. Mike's wrapping up his conversation. He and I decide to go for another drink at that point. And then as we're walking over to the bar, taking the scenic route, who do we see coming by? It's the most beautiful woman in the Western club. And again, I was thinking, she's probably, she's here with a guy or whatever. As she's passing me, she says, "Who are you supposed to be?" So this is exactly what this channel is all about. This is why I'm talking with you, because I was in the right place, the right time, wearing the right things, and just ready and outside my comfort zone. I'm just, making sure that I'm making myself available, looking engaged, keeping eye contact. We made that eye contact. She initiated the conversation with me. And of course, I explained to her, I'm the man in black. And she's like, "Oh, who's that character?" "Oh, he's from Westworld." And so we just started the conversation. And then, of course, I bring Mike into the conversation as well, which is a key status indicator because I'm introducing him to her. And now all 3 of us are having the conversation. She probably stood there from anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes talking to us, even though she explained that she was there with a bunch of her male friends. And she was on the way to the bathroom, but she yet still stayed in having an engaging conversation with us. And towards the end, I was like, "Hey, listen, I think it would be fun if we hung out sometime. Is it cool to call you or text you?" She says, "Sure." She gave me her name. I typed her name into my phone and handed her the phone. And she was impressed that I spelled her name correctly, which was Autumn. She was absolutely gorgeous, guys. Let me tell you, this woman, beautiful. Anyway, That I just want to share that with you because again, this is the whole point. I was dressed to impress. I got so many compliments on that cowboy costume. I mean, I was in the right venue for that, right? As well. I'm in a Western club. So it really made a lot of sense. But this is hack number 3. Hack number 3 is identify a secondary location. So that's one of the things that Mike and I did really well when we were in the clubs. We decided, okay, we're gonna post up here for a minute. Let's go over here. We hang out there for a couple of minutes. Let's go over here. So we just kept moving, but we stayed long enough that someone could initiate conversation. Heck, in this scenario, we were actually moving in opposite directions, and she stopped me to ask me about what I was wearing. So just to give you guys a little inclination about how well that all works. Now, I want to also tell you about this, other scenario where, so Saturday during the day, Mike and I again were hanging out, and we went to this Bark and Brews event, which is an event where it's like the streets are blocked off in this town, and they're having vendors in the street, and it's basically a craft beer and bring your dog kind of event. Well, we didn't have a dog, but we're like, there's got to be plenty of single women at this type of event. And granted, there were. But as we're walking up to the event, we noticed a pub that looked pretty popular. There was a lot of people, pretty busy. But we decided, hey, let's just go to the event in any event. Maybe we'll swing back by this pub. So we go to the event. It was very busy. The busyness level was good, but there were a lot of young people. It was like a homecoming event. So a lot of kids under 18, high school kids. There were it just didn't seem like the right environment, very family friendly. Like I was telling you, a little too family friendly, like I was telling you guys earlier. So just to be mindful about that, but still a great event. Tons of women, but very family oriented. So as we stayed at the event for about an hour, had a beer, but we decided, hey, let's go back to that pub. So we had that secondary location in mind. And although, we didn't, I didn't have an incident where a woman came up and introduced herself to me. It was a very welcoming environment. We also talked about this bar, a really big bar at this Park and Pub is what it was called. And at that bar, it was just such a big bar. We commented on how the level of busyness was just right for the size of that bar. So again, the level of busyness is really important too. So I want to go ahead and ask you, click the link in the description to see the cowboy hat and boots that got the most attractive woman in the Western Club to start a conversation with me. If you want to attract more women without saying a word, then hit subscribe now. I need your help with a couple of things. I need to know, what is your biggest struggle when it comes to having a conversation with a woman who you want to actually date? Is it fear of rejection? Is it that you don't know where to go? Is it that you don't know how to start the conversation? Let me know in the comments. Lastly, I need your help to get to 50 subscribers so I can go live from my mobile phone to bring you higher quality and more dynamic videos from anywhere. Remember, I'm here to show you how to attract women without saying a word through fitness, fashion, and finesse. Don't chase attention, attract it.